It's only been 3 years since the start of the pandemic, and we are already seeing historical revisionism taking place, particularly with the vaccines. And here's a quick reminder at the start of this video that for over 2 years, discussing vaccines, their efficacy, side effects, and what the definition of a vaccine is was removed from discourse. People were canceled, channels on YouTube were removed, discussions in mainstream media were practically non-existent, and people speaking up about all of this were quickly removed, made invisible, and had their character assassinated. Over the last several weeks, I have seen and heard people saying things like, the vaccines were not forced on people. This is a blatant lie. I'm not entirely sure where this rhetoric originated from, so I'm going to be setting the record straight. People were mandated to take the vaccine in order to keep their jobs, in order to enter business establishments, to travel, to go to school, and so much more. It was mandated for all military personnel to receive the vaccine or risk being discharged. Nurses and doctors, but especially nurses, lost their jobs because of vaccine mandates that they did not agree with from both an ethical and a medical standpoint. And lastly, the very first video on this channel discussed how 2 men were being denied life-saving medical treatment because they did not want to take the vaccine. And it was not because of some anti-vax view. No, it was because it was a new type of vaccine that under their current failing health was going to put them at a higher risk of having adverse effects. These men were denied life-saving healthcare treatments because they did not want to take a new experimental vaccine. So when people say that it was not mandated or forced on people, it's wrong. It was. These people are lying. Another video that I covered on this channel was on the definitions that have been changed over the course of this pandemic: vaccine, herd immunity, and gain-of-function research. Here's a reminder of what I covered in that video. On an archived CDC webpage from May 2018, the definition of vaccine was a product that stimulates a person's immune system to produce immunity to a specific disease, protecting the person from that disease. The current definition, last updated in September 2021, reads a preparation that is used to stimulate the body's immune response against diseases. Here's what was changed between those two definitions. Product turned into preparation. Person's immune system changed to a body's immune response. Produce immunity to a specific disease was removed. Protecting the person from that disease was removed and replaced with against diseases. Herd immunity was another term that was conveniently changed, this time by the World Health Organization. The definition has to date been changed 3 times. On June 9th, 2020, the definition of herd immunity on the WHO page stated indirect protection from an infectious disease that happens when a population is immune, either through vaccination or immunity developed through previous infection. The November 13th version, however, focused entirely on vaccination and said, herd immunity, also known as population immunity, is a concept used for vaccination in which a population can be protected from a certain virus if a threshold of vaccination is reached. The December 31st version that is now displayed on the WHO page includes the definition from the June 9 version, with further clarification that the WHO supports achieving herd immunity through vaccination rather than mass infections. What changed between these 3 definitions? November added the population immunity. A concept used for vaccination replaced the original definition, removing immune either through vaccination or immunity developed through previous infection. It added population can be protected from a certain virus if a threshold of vaccination is reached. Then there is gain-of-function research. The National Institute of Health is one of the culprits that changed the definition of gain-of-function research quietly, along with redirecting users to a new page created on October 21st, 2021, titled Research Involving Enhanced Potential Pandemic Pathogens, or EPPP. The previous webpage titled Gain-of-Function Research Involving Potential Pandemic Pathogens is now set to redirect to the new EPP page. This image here is the original page for gain-of-function research on the NIH website. The term gain-of-function research describes a type of research that modifies a biological agent so that it confers new or enhanced activity to that agent. This image shows the new image and the changed terminology. While EPPP research is a type of so-called gain-of-function research, the vast majority of gain-of-function research does not involve EPPP and falls outside the scope of oversight required for research involving EPPPs. If you're interested and want to learn more, you can find this article that I wrote on my blog website detailing all of this at endemictimes.com. I've also linked it down in the description box below. I'm speaking up about this because I am so sick of people trying to already change our history in a propagandistic way to keep people misinformed and divided amongst each other, because that has been the main focus when it comes to the vaccines. An entire group of people were conveniently labeled anti-vax because they were asking questions, looking into data, and not wanting to put something in their body that they did not agree with, especially as we now see that people that got the vaccine are still getting COVID and spreading COVID. That is antithetical to the original definition of vaccine. But thanks to mainstream media, Fauci, and our government, we can't even agree on definitions that have existed for decades anymore. When you're changing definitions to suit your needs at a particular time, that's propaganda. That's manufacturing consent, and it gave the elite exactly what they wanted: a divided populace that's fighting amongst itself while they take over everything. Don't let them change our history on top of everything else. Stay awake, stay alert, and don't feed into the divisive BS. Stay safe, take care, and be kind to each other.